Bang Si-hyuk is known for seeing patterns before others do. When BTS first went global, many executives doubted non-English music could dominate Western charts. Bang believed otherwise. He invested, pushed, risked, and so when fans accuse him of securing Jungkook, they are also admitting something. They believe Bang knows exactly what he is doing, but knowing what you are doing does not make it painless. Behind every strategy are human faces. RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook are not chess pieces. They are artists with pride, emotion, and personal history. They built BTS together through exhaustion, tears, scandals, doubt, and triumph. Any strategy that makes even one of them feel secondary risks emotional damage. Publicly, the members always emphasize unity. But fans are trained to read small signs. Who gets more camera time? Who gets more solo lines and teasers? Who is centered in promotional thumbnails? These details become evidence in fan debates. And in this tour era, Jungkook's shadow feels long. The question is not whether Jungkook deserves attention. The question is whether the system is quietly training the world to see BTS through Jungkook first and the others later. In America, media headlines already do this. Articles often say Jungkook and BTS announce world tour. His name appears before the groups. That is not accidental. Editors choose what gets clicks, and Jungkook's name triggers more curiosity. Is Bang Si-hyuk simply feeding that system, or is he letting it reshape BTS itself? From a business perspective, there is also fear. Over-reliance on one figure is risky. Brands that depend too much on one face collapse when that face disappears. BTS survived military service, hiatus, solo projects because they are a group. If future branding leans too hard on Jungkook, the group becomes more fragile. But there is another uncomfortable truth. Audiences often choose for you. No matter how equal you try to be, the crowd creates favorites. You can fight it, or you can ride it. Bang Si-hyuk seems to be riding it. The tour's emotional narrative is already forming in public imagination. Jungkook as the symbol of BTS's global return. That doesn't mean others are erased. But it does mean the story begins with him. For fans, this creates inner conflict. They love Jungkook. They also love the others. They don't want to choose. But the market is forcing a choice in attention. In Jakarta, where BTS will perform in December 2026, banners already appear with Jungkook's face dominating fan art. In Latin America, fan projects often center him as the emotional hero of the tour. In Europe, local news articles use his image to represent the entire group. When critics say Bang Si-hyuk secured Jungkook, what they really mean is Bang accepted the world's choice and built the tour around it. But is that leadership or surrender? Some believe true leadership would resist imbalance, even if it costs money. Others believe true leadership is protecting the group's future, even if it hurts feelings. This is why this tour is not just a concert series. It is a test of whether BTS can remain seven in the eyes of a world that increasingly sees one, a test of whether Bang Si-hyuk's genius will preserve balance or quietly reshape, a test of whether ARMY can love without dividing, and a test of whether success always has to come at the cost of equality. When BTS finally steps on stage in Goyang in April 2026, millions will scream not just for music, but for meaning. Every camera angle, every solo line, every center position will be analyzed. Fans will not just listen. They will measure. If Jungkook stands in the center too often, critics will say, "See, we were right." If the spotlight is shared carefully, supporters will say, "Bang protected them." Either way, the narrative has already begun. The real question is not whether Jungkook is powerful. Everyone knows he is. The real question is, can BTS stay BTS if the world insists on seeing Jungkook first? And even more dangerous, is Bang Si-hyuk shaping that vision or simply following it? Because in the end, this is not just about tickets. It is about identity, and once identity shifts, it rarely goes back. When the lights go up in Jakarta, in Los Angeles, in London, in Sao Paulo, and fans scream until their throats burn, what will they really be screaming for? BTS or Jungkook? And if the answer is unclear, that might be the most powerful and most frightening sign of all. And the danger of that uncertainty is not small. Because uncertainty is where divisions are born. As the tour dates get closer, social media already shows too. Emotional currents moving in opposite directions. One current flows with pure excitement, screaming that Jungkook deserves everything, that he earned every spotlight, every screen, every center position. The other current flows with anxiety, whispering that something precious might be slipping away, that BTS might slowly be transformed into a brand where one name carries the weight of 7. This is not hatred. This is fear. Fear that history will be rewritten by algorithms. Fear that new fans will know BTS only through one face. Fear that the group story, built from shared struggle, will be simplified into a single hero narrative, and hero narratives are seductive. They are easy to sell. They fit headlines. They fit thumbnails. They fit short attention spans. Jungkook returns to conquer the world. That sentence alone pulls more clicks than BTS returns as 7. This is not Jungkook's fault. He did not ask to become the symbol. He simply became it. The system chose him. The market crowned him. The audience crowned him. And Bang Si-hyuk, standing at the center of all this, must decide. Do I fight the crown or do I polish it? Every sign so far suggests he is polishing it, but polishing a crown does not mean destroying the kingdom. At least, not immediately. Inside HYB, insiders say the internal strategy still emphasizes 7. Rehearsals, set lists, concepts are designed to give each member moments of emotional climax. But marketing is a different battlefield. Marketing speaks the language of numbers, not feelings. If one face sells faster, that face goes first. If one name trends harder, that name leads the headline. If one voice hooks listeners instantly, that voice opens a teaser. This is not ideology. This is mechanics. Yet BTS is not just a product. That is why this feels so heavy. They are symbols of resilience, youth, struggle, growth. Millions of fans grew up with all 7. They did not grow up with Jungkook alone. They grew up with RM's words, Jin's warmth, Suga's honesty, J-Hope's energy, Jimin's emotion, V's mystery, and Jungkook's passion. Take one too far forward and the picture changes. The world tour schedule itself feeds the debate. In Western markets, where Jungkook's solo popularity is strongest, marketing leans into his image more aggressively. In Asia, where fans are more familiar with all members, promotions appear more balanced. This creates two versions of BTS in the global imagination. BTS 7 in the East, BTS through Jungkook in the West. Did Bang Si-hyuk lock in Jungkook? Is BTS's 2026 to 2027 world tour turning into the golden Maknae show? Is this really a BTS world tour? Or is it quietly becoming the Jungkook era on a global scale? When the official poster of BTS World Tour 2026 to 2027 dropped on January 13th, 2026, the world froze for a second. Millions stared at their screens, hearts racing, fingers shaking. But behind the celebration, another question exploded in fan discussions, analyst threads, and industry whispers. Did Bang Si-hyuk design this tour to secure Jungkook as the main engine of global ticket power? Because everywhere fans look, especially in America and Europe, one name seems to dominate excitement metrics, media headlines, and commercial projections. Jungkook, the golden Maknae, the global pop magnet, the face that sells out stadiums before the tickets even exist. What is really happening behind the scenes? Is this smart business? Is it unfair to other members? Or is this simply the unavoidable reality of global pop economics? And more dangerously, if this tour leans too heavily on Jungkook, what does that mean for BTS as a group, for ARMY, and for the future of K-pop power structures? The announcement itself was explosive. Posted by Bigot Music on X, the poster showing RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook appeared simple, artistic, almost innocent. But the reaction was not. Over 26 million views in a short time, nearly 500,000 likes, hundreds of thousands of reposts, and tens of thousands of comments screaming in dozens of languages. The tour was confirmed to run from April 2026 to March 2027, crossing Asia, North America, South America, Europe, and Australia, With dozens of cities already listed and more promised later, Indonesia erupted when Jakarta was confirmed for December 26 to 27, 2026. Army Indonesia treated it like a national holiday announcement. But while fans celebrated dates and cities, another kind of analysis was happening in quieter spaces. Fan analysts, market observers, and industry insiders started mapping hype patterns, and what they saw was uncomfortable. In the United States, fan polls showed Jungkook ranking first in most anticipated member by massive margins. In Europe, his solo work still dominated streaming charts compared to other members. In Latin America, fan edits, banners, and fan projects overwhelmingly used Jungkook's image more than any other member. Even before the tour began, the emotional and commercial gravity seemed to tilt in one direction. This is where Bang Si-hyuk's name enters the storm. Bang Si-hyuk is not just a producer. He is a strategist. He understands algorithms, markets, emotional psychology, and global branding. When critics say Bang Si-hyuk is securing Jungkook, they are not talking about contracts. They're talking about narrative control, about positioning, about silently shaping the tour's emotional center around the one member who guarantees global reaction at maximum volume. Fans point to several signs. Promotional teasers often highlight Jungkook's voice or silhouette more than others. International media previews frequently use Jungkook's image as the main thumbnail. Western entertainment outlets, when teasing the tour, usually mention Jungkook first in headlines even when listing all members. Is this coincidence? Or is this calculated? Supporters of Bang Si-hyuk's strategy argue something simple. This is business. Stadium tours cost hundreds of millions. Risk management is not emotional, it is mathematical. If Jungkook statistically pulls the strongest reaction in key markets like the US and Europe, ignoring that would be irresponsible. Using Jungkook as the emotional magnet doesn't erase the others, they say. It simply secures the stage so all seven can shine safely, but critics see danger. They ask, when does smart strategy become imbalance? When does optimization become distortion? If fans in some regions start seeing the tour as Jungkook's show featuring BTS, what does that do to the group's internal identity? BTS built its empire on unity. 7 voices, 7 stories, 1 message. Their power was never just talent, but balance. Every member had a role, a narrative, a connection to fans. Turning the spotlight too sharply in one direction risks cracking that image, and the emotional consequences are not theoretical. Online, subtle tensions are already visible. Some fans complain that other members feel overshadowed in promotional materials. Some worry that casual audiences will associate BTS mainly with Jungkook, reducing the group's complexity into a single face. But is that really new? Or is it just becoming more visible now? Jungkook has always been special. From debut, he was called the Golden Maknae not because of marketing, but because of ability. Vocals, dance, visuals, stage presence, emotional connection. As BTS grew globally, Jungkook's appeal crossed language barriers faster than most. He didn't need subtitles to make people feel something. During the group's hiatus period, his solo work exploded in Western charts. His songs played in malls, gyms, cars, clubs. His face appeared on magazine covers, brand campaigns, and global playlists. For many new fans, Jungkook was the first door into BTS. When Bang Si-hyuk designs a world tour strategy, can he really ignore that gravitational force? Some insiders argue the opposite. If Jungkook is not used as the tour's emotional engine, the risk of underperformance rises. Stadium tours are not fan meetings. They are massive financial machines. Every empty seat is a loss, every slow-selling city a warning. And look at the schedule. The tour opens in Goyang, then moves through Japan, Korea, then massive US cities like Tampa, El Paso, Stanford, Las Vegas, New York area, Boston area, Baltimore, Texas, Toronto, Chicago, Los Angeles. These are competitive markets where Western pop giants fight for attention. In Europe, cities like London, Paris, Madrid, and Munich demand global star power to sell out at top speed. In those environments, Jungkook is not just a member. He is a brand recognized by non-K-pop listeners. Using his image is not favoritism, supporters argue. It is survival. But survival for what? for BTS as a group, or for BTS as a business, this is where emotion collides with capitalism. ARMY is not a normal fanbase. It is emotional, protective, analytical, and loud. Many fans feel that reducing BTS's tour identity to one member, even indirectly, insults the group's history. They remind everyone that BTS conquered the world as seven, not as one. They ask painful questions. If Jungkook is the main ticket magnet, what happens when he is not on stage one day? If his voice cracks, if he is sick, if he takes a break, does the tour lose its soul? Should a group that preached equality and